One of the things I love about in slew mode is all the indicators work. So yeah, we're at 5,000, just over 5,000 feet, but just watch the airspeed. That's right, 8,500 knots. Whee! So hey everybody, I don't know if you remember, but we overnighted because we wanted to watch the, well, I wanted to watch the Grand Prix qualify. Yeah, you go Verstappen. And a bit sad about Norris not doing too well, but hey, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So we've just taken on some fuel, as you can see, we're next to a fueling station. And we're going to complete our first trip. The final leg is going to be from here in Maumere. I always forget the name of the airport. The Franz Javier Seda. So these are all on the island of Flores, and we're going to go now to the far western corner of Flores, to Komodo. It's roughly an hour and 20 minutes. So it should take us about an hour and a half. We've got one landing to do on Bajawa. It might be Bajawa, I don't know how to pronounce this, I should look these up. But it is, we have no plans for the airport. We may find it, we may not, so we're fueled up to make sure we can get to Komodo. And one of the things we have to bear in mind is it's a very small airport, so we may have difficulty landing due to various factors, one of which is the weather. So as usual, we have to check all that. So we're currently here, and we're going to be flying across the rest of the island, and then turning over and heading north into Mt Ineri. For some reason it's called that, I don't know why. As far as I know, it's just Komodo, but it's even got a different name. Yeah, Labuan Bayo, Badjo. So, yeah. A lot of these have many names, and even the islands, if you look on different maps and different electronic things, they've all just got different names, and it's very difficult to decipher what is the real name of these places in many cases. I'm just going to call it Komodo. So one of the things I was looking forward to is it is in fact right next to Komodo, the island of Komodo, which is just there somewhere, which is where the Komodo dragons are. My brother loves Komodo dragons. I have a picture somewhere of him cuddling a baby one in, I think it was London Zoo. But it may have been a different one, I'm not too sure. But he's loved them for many years, and of course they are an insane animal. Let's just put it like that. They bite you and you'll be dead within a day, just from the poisons that are on their teeth. Plus they're like just big land crocodiles with just shark's teeth. You just don't want to go anywhere near them. Just, yeah, they'll eat you. No question about it, you'd just be eaten. So things I'm looking forward to is these two, that one, and especially this one. It's a massive volcano, well, ex-volcano. As you can see, it's got a little lake inside. So we're going to go over, we'll have to probably go quite high for that one and then descend into Mt Ineri, which I don't know why it's called that. But that's what it's called on the Microsoft Flight Sim. I think that might be its old name. So as I say, about an hour and a half. So I'm just doing the pre-flight stuff. I mean, this information I'll probably read on the way there. We've got plenty of time to read that. It's another reasonably long airstrip. Oh, it's got Pappy. Wow, must be big. So as you can see, this one does not have a proper pappy, but it's got yeah, it's got some lights, but no pappy. This is why it's quite important to make a lot of these flights during the day, because you just wouldn't know what you're doing otherwise. You get there and you can't see the runway lights, you're going to die. If you notice from the previous landings, sometimes the trees are right up against the runway, so yeah, we have to take a very steep angle of descent, and like the other one where we overran next to the building can be very dodgy. The other one we overran and went off the runway and into the trees nearly. That was quite scary. One of the factors of choosing your own runway is if you don't know which way the wind's going because you can't get a report from anywhere, then you might have gone in, well, we may have gone in with a 25-30 knot tailwind for all I know. I have no idea. That's one of the reasons you overfly, is try and find the windsock so you can check the windsock and see what it's doing, but unfortunately the one we did check didn't have one, so yeah. So, getting back to the other checks, you can see the wind's quite gentle, nothing really going on. But because it's going across the island, whereas yesterday it was coming from both sides and meeting in the middle, we're probably going to get some weather. And there we have it. Some weather. So we're going to be setting off here, flying through between the weather, and ending up in Mutiara. So currently it's quite light and it's going to build up. So yeah, there was some sort of issue there. I don't know what's going on. I must have... I don't know if we're not getting reports, but there never seems to be any lightning even when there's lots of cloud. And lastly, of course, our old volcano check. The reason... This was the one we flew past yesterday. Sorry, the day before yesterday, when we came into land, and one of the reasons I knew would be okay is when you check the webcam you can see there's actually nothing coming out, it's just a little bit of gas, so we were safe. Of course that's the one that I'm looking forward to. Krakatau. Looks like their webcams are offline as well. The old famous Krakatoa, which I guess is actually Krakatau. Semaru, I believe, had some... Yeah, there you go. You can see Semaru's got a little bit of green on there, which means there's heat coming out of the cone, which indicates more activity. So enough of that nonsense. Let's get underway. Fuel's on, brakes on. Need to activate the leg again.
TARS system.
I don't know why it's automatically set itself to massively... Oh, I guess that's Microsoft's flight planner doing that for me. Trying to make my little Cessna go to 35,000 feet for some reason. So that's got the leg activated. Engines must be warmed up now. Time for us to leave.
Taxi to and hold short runway 23 using taxiway locked for 007.
So we're going to come out, we're going to turn left, go all the way down the runway and then fly out. Follow the yellow brick road. So quite a strong crosswind from the left. A lot of buffeting around here, it's definitely interesting. And because it's coming off the sea towards us, it's hitting the tail first, which is throwing us around quite a lot. It's coming from basically at that angle, so it's wave at the people on the ground there. Hello! Ignore the low-flying plane. We're okay. Bit of cloud, nothing too serious. We can see the mountains, which is the important part. And we can see from our flight indicator that we're probably going to clear that quite easily. We are still climbing though, we're 3.5, we're going to go up to 5,000. Just nice and gently, so we can maintain a reasonable speed. We're at 90 currently, so we could maybe put a bit higher climb angle on, but the speed is fluctuating and dropping quite quickly. So it'd be a bit risky to go any higher than that. Sorry, any higher rate of climb. Wonderful place, 20 degrees centigrade, perfect temperature. Not too much sun, not too much rain. Lovely area. Okay, so we're easily going to clear that. I'm going to put in 6,000. Just in case. Why that cloud suddenly appearing? Why? This looks like the crater of a massive volcano that's exploded a few times and another cone's grown in front of us. But it's just everywhere. Just volcanoes inside volcanoes inside volcanoes. Amazing. I mean, you can have different cones inside a volcano, but the way these tend to grow is that a hotspot is below the surface, and as the plates move, the hotspot stays roughly in the same place, so that islands get built up over time. These ones, though, I don't know how these formed, but there's just... Sometimes they can see that, like a Venn diagram, one volcano is built inside another one and they've all got several vents each. Anyway, I guess we'll speak to you once we're over our target. In a bit. So as you can see, we've gone off piste, so to speak. Those two little dots there in front of us are the lakes. And this is the Kelimutu National Park and the Kelimutu crater. Very much tourist attraction, unfortunately. So it looks like the vents have collapsed and left us with a nice crater, which is filled with water. It's no surprise that this is the area that Krakatoa lives in. So much volcanic activity, it's just absolutely great, loving it. Is that ground cloud? I've no idea what that is. Anyway, we'll be in touch again once we get to our next target. So you can see from the view ahead we've got some really tall mountains. Well, volcanoes with them. So I've just opened up the topo map to see what we've got ahead. These are the three we're flying over past currently. We're just about here somewhere. The airfield's around here, so it's at the base of those mountains ahead of us. And that's the one to our left. So once we get past, well, once we get level with this mountain to our south, out of our left window, I'll start to descend. Well, I'll probably start to descend a little in a second, because we're going to be landing around there somewhere. Oh, actually, it looks like it's quite a lot before there, so yeah, we should start descending now. Maybe is that the runway? Or is it going to be down here somewhere? It doesn't look very flat wherever it is. Maybe it's that far. I don't know. So that looks like the circular, well, hemispherical, what? Semicircular. Sorry. That looks like the semicircular thing we can see on the map there. Well, on the picture. This one here. So it looks like it's level with the middle of it, which sort of puts it down there somewhere. Around there is. Yeah, we're getting quite close. These mountains are amazing, aren't they? It's looking like we do have an airport there, and it's got a radio, so that's good.
Whiskey Alpha Tango Bravo traffic locked for 0076 miles east, 3,300 feet, inbound to land runway 29er. Whiskey Alpha Tango Bravo traffic locked for 007 is on final runway 11 touch and go left traffic. Whiskey Alpha Tango Bravo traffic locked for 007 is clear of the runway.
Okay, so we're down. Do our little delivery and pickup, have a quick coffee. Then we'll be off to our final destination on this island. So that's the west end of Flores. Yeah, beautiful scenery, really is. I better turn the engine off first. Interesting little traffic patterns they've got going on here. I mean the vehicles on the ground, of course, not the aircraft. And that is a beautiful picture, isn't it? Moon, the mountains, trees, lovely. I'm saving that one in my snap book. So, had a quick coffee. Time to leave on the last leg of this first trip. God, that is a beautiful sight, that really is. Have I told you I love volcanoes? I don't think I have. Not enough anyway. So the last little bit of our journey, we're going to go to the right, sorry, to the left of those mountains, keeping them on our right. And then to the left, these are going to be on our left, keeping to the right of that. And then go and look at the lake. And then go and land. So we will of course deviate from our flight plan there. We're going to go through that gap there and then around. "40-minute flight. Lovely. So a few hills on the warnings for our destination. So the big one is 6,500, which is pretty high. But as you can see, this central ridge goes up to 7.5, so we're going to fly fairly high over those. Maybe 8.5, 9. And then quickly descend, have a look at this one, head down there, through the gap, and then over the low-lying land and then into the runway. So as you can see, it's pretty high. Not so high. Even less high. Lovely. And we're around here, so we've got a reasonable amount of time to climb, to get over them, and then come into land. We'll go on to that one in the next trip. That I cannot wait to go and see. That's going to be epic. Fuel's on, brakes on. Good point. I guess we'll take off in 11.
TARS.
Whiskey Alpha Tango Bravo traffic locked for 007 is taxiing to runway 11.
So we're ready to go. Legs already set.
Bali Center locked for 007 is type Cessna Skyhawk 2 miles west of Whiskey Alpha Tango Bravo, 3,400 feet.
So that's the ridge of mountains at the middle there. This is the tallest part of them. That's just, yeah, amazing. Just so vertical, they're just ridiculous, aren't they? That's the outside of one crate and the outside of another crate. Wow, it's just incredible. There's a crater, and I guess everything ran out that way where the river is. Just been eroded down like that. I guess it forms a lake, and then the lakes break the bank, drain out to the sea. Then it forms a nice little river escaping towards the lower ground. And we're pretty high now. We're just approaching our target altitude of 8,500. Giving us plenty of clearance over the top of that mountain ahead, which is 7,500. And as you can see on the GPS is showing us we're going to be heading straight towards our target, which is that lake in the middle of that other mountain. So we're just currently flying towards these. About another 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go. So we've cleared that mountain there. You see that it's got the little island down. So we know from this topographical map that that island, and that's the highest we needed to be. So we can judge roughly where that is. I think that's about 1,200 meters, which is 1,200 yards. So roughly, a yard's roughly a meter for all intents and guesstimation purposes. So if it's 1,200, that's 3,600. So 4,000 feet should clear that easily. Got a bit of cloud over here though, so we're going to be careful of that. Oh, we can see the lake already. So we're just approaching the lake, still descending. We're at 5.5, heading down to 4.5. It's a very high altitude lake, but it's beautiful, isn't it? Once again, the scenery is spectacular. Or as some might say, spectacular. That can't be another. Is that really a... Oh wow. That can't be a crater, surely. It's massive. Wow. Anyway, let's autopilot off. I'm going to dial in 4,000, I think. It really is a stunning area, absolutely beautiful. Well, it is if you like mountains and volcanoes, and I do, as you probably are already aware. Okay, so I'll turn me off now until we start in our approach. So we've been cleared for right traffic to runway 17. So we're going to go past the airport. If you imagine we've taken off on 17 and turned right, so that 17 is pointing towards us, so we'd be coming towards us then turning right. So we're going to join right hand traffic, which would be circling just in front of us, having turned towards us from the runway, from the end that's closest to us. So they would have gone down from the far end to the close end, taken off, turned right over those buildings. So we're just going to join right traffic and then circle around and land. Which is great because I mean there's little hills and we can do a nice slow shallow descent. I've also been told, I forgot to tell you about the aircraft, so... Oh, that's a nice crosswind. We're going to change aircraft once we get down there. This one's going to go back to our starting destination of Dili. So we're going to get a different, either a 172 or something similar.
Locked for 007, wind 286 at 5. Clear to land runway 17.
Clear to land runway 17 locked for 007.
So we're doing our crosswing lead now, and then we'll start in on 5. So that's the end of our first leg, well, first flight, trip, whatever, first trip. And yeah, looking forward to trip number 2. We're going to have lunch here, then we'll set off on number 2. I mean, it is a thoroughly beautiful place. Not too sure about the buildings, that seems to be a bit weird, but hey. Anyway, thanks for watching, we'll catch you in the next bit.